Hello, and once again, welcome to this series of lectures on organic reaction mechanism. And we are now in the addition to alkenes, electrophilic addition to alkenes. In the previous videos, we talked about addition of polar addendum like HX, HOX, water, sulfuric acid, and in the next video, halogenation, chlorination, and bromination. Today, we shall be taking off a very specific syn addition to alkene. Both the parts of the addendum to join from the same face of the alkene, either both descending from the top or ascending both from the bottom. In fact, both the possibilities take place simultaneously with equal probabilities. That is called syn addition. When we say syn addition, in case of halogenation with a cyclic bromonium intermediate that we saw in halogenation of alkenes, we won't see here that no intermediate will be formed here like the previous case. Neither carbocation nor the bridged bromonium ion or chloronium ion. It is completely different, and the topic of today's topic is hydroboration oxidation. Hydroboration oxidation. I condense it as HBO, hydroboration, this B H O, HBO. Now let us first know what is HBO. What is the advantage? Why? Not very late, very, very recently. When I was, in fact, already a teacher, teaching in college. 1979, H.C. Brown got Nobel Prize for his work on organoboron chemistry. And in fact, in 1957, long before he was awarded with the most coveted award, the Nobel. Much before that, in 1957, he prepared hexane 1-ol, pure hexane 1-ol from hex 1-ene. Let me show you what he did. This is the famous discovery of H.C. Brown. This was hex 1-ene. And if you try by conventional method, for example, you add water, hydration in presence of acid, you get 2-ol, hexane 2-ol, not 1-ol. That is Markovnikov addition takes place always. But he wanted how to prepare anti-Markovnikov alcohol so that OH will join here and H will join here. So instead of getting hexane 2-ol, he was interested to get hexane 1-ol, and in fact he did it by his knowledge of boron chemistry. Took diborane. You know diborane? Diborane is a very, very toxic gaseous compound. It is inflammable, spontaneously inflammable, but when it is kept in a ether solvent, it becomes its monomer B2H6. In fact, the stable compound is B2H6, that is called diborane. But the moment you add some ether, which is a Lewis base, and this is a Lewis acid, electron deficient, so they will form an adduct, a Lewis acid Lewis base adduct, and there these two units will be separated. BH3 units, monomeric units will be separated. So this will be the status when in any ether diborane is mixed. To store it, to dissolve it, it remains in the monomeric form BH3. Of course, two molecules will be taken here so that it will be 2. Right? So he used this. At that time, he was taking diethyl ether and another diglyme, forget about it. Nowadays, long after his discovery, epic discovery, instead of normal ether, nowadays tetrahydrofuran, a cyclic ether, is now being used that has replaced diethyl ether. So that is why you might be confused. The actual compound is B2H6 diborane, but in ether, in any ether, it remains in a monomeric form. So everywhere you find BH3 THF or BH3 ether. So this is the discovery, 57 discovery. And then what he got, 3 molecules of hexguanine reacted with 1 mole of BH3, 1 molecule of BH3 to produce this tri-N-hexyl borane. Right? Tri-N-hexyl borane, and then oxidation of this trialkyl borane here, OH, here OH, OH by hydrogen peroxide, here OH, OH. So 3 molecules of hexane 1 all get separated, and in the middle there will be BOH whole 3, that is S3BO3, nothing but orthoboric acid. So he got, after oxidizing this intermediate tri-N-hexyl borane, he got 3 molecules of this plus 1 molecule of orthoboric acid. This is same as S3BO3, the boric acid, the boric powder that you use in your carom board to make it slippery for the dots to go fast. Right? The boric acid, orthoboric acid. Now that was the beginning of the hydroboration oxidation chemistry. Now let me read out what is that. Alkene, there are 2 steps. Alkene first reacts with BH3. This is the solvent used now. This is the cyclic ether. This is the tetrahydrofuran, oxacyclopentane, or it is tetrahydrofuran. So let me not make the diagram dirty. So BH3 reacts with 3 moles of alkene. I have taken unsymmetrical alkene successively to produce the trialkyl borane or CH2. Hydrogen will be added here. Then there will be 3 whole 3, because boron, the valency is 3. There are 3 electrons for boron. So whole 3B. So there will be 3 covalent bonds. This. Right? And then this trialkyl borane, which is the intermediate. Let me explain. This is the trialkyl borane. And on oxidation to this, produces alcohol. And interestingly, anti-Markovnikov of alcohol, had you added water in presence of acid, OH would have definitely come here. But now it is in the terminal position, 1-all. That it is anti-Markovnikov of alcohol. The negative part, OH, is adding to carbon bearing more number of hydrogen atoms. Hydrogen being added to carbon bearing less number of hydrogen atoms. So ultimately we are getting anti-Markovnikov of alcohol. Now let's see how it happens. See, each individual addition step, what happens? Supposing this is BH3, let us split BH3 as H and BH2. Since boron is more electropositive or less electronegative than hydrogen, then the positive part or the polarity will develop, and boron will carry plus delta, the BH2 unit, and H will be having minus delta. So as if it is a kind of Markovnikov addition is taking place in this step. Of course, it's not the same electrophilic addition mechanism where the carbocation is formed. No, I'll tell you the details. Don't worry at all. Now what happens? This hydrogen joins here, being the negative part. Just for the sake of simplicity for beginners, I am saying this, that hydrogen being negative here joins to carbon which is more hindered, or carbon bearing less number of hydrogen atoms. Consequently, BH2, the positive part, joins to the other carbon which is less hindered. So this happens, R CH2, single bond, CH2, then BH2. I deliberately again split this into two poles. The one of the H becomes the negative pole, and the rest, the big part, is the positive. The boron carries plus delta. This monoalkyl borane adds to another alkene in the same way, hydrogen adding to the middle carbon, the rest of this adding to the other carbon, so that you get a dialkyl borane. Still there is one hydrogen which is minus delta. So it adds on to another alkene in the same fashion. Hydrogen comes here, hydrogen is minus delta, comes here, and the rest part carrying two alkyl group and boron joins to this carbon, double bond becomes single. So ultimately we have got trialkyl borane. Each time hydrogen has added to the middle carbon and boron has added to the terminal carbon, or the carbon bearing more number of hydrogen atoms. This trialkyl borane is the intermediate, and this is one step, in fact 3 steps, and in each step what happens, what is the way it proceeds in each step, I will tell you. Just hold on for a moment. And trialkyl borane, when oxidized by hydrogen peroxide in alkaline medium, NaOH or KOH, this bond breaks, and carbon boron bond is replaced by carbon oxygen bond, OH. That also I will explain to you in details. For simplicity, I have done this. One out of hydrogen peroxide, H2O2, one OH on the boron side, one OH on the carbon side. Same way, I have used 3 hydrogen peroxide molecules, OH, 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 OH. So in the middle, BOH whole 3 comes out, and there are 3 molecules of the terminal alcohol or anti-Markovnikov alcohol, right? Now this is another example where isobutene, I have written the 2 steps in the same, over the same arrow mark, one above the arrow mark, the other below. BH3THF followed by oxidation. Of course, these are two steps, but sometimes for saving time, we write like this. This set belongs to HBO, hydroboration oxidation, HBO. So ultimately, you are getting an anti-Markovnikov alcohol, OH joining carbon bearing more number of hydrogen atom, or which is less hindered, and hydrogen joining, you know, more hindered carbon, or carbon bearing less number of hydrogen atoms. Now let's see how it happens. Let me read out, because I might miss some important points which I have collected, prepared for you. Alkene first adds to BH3, that is the monomer of diborane in THF solvent, to form trialkyl borane. This is the hydroboration step. In this step, 3 moles of alkene get successively added to 1 mole of borane. This step is analogous to Markovnikov addition. Just for beginners, I am saying, it's not like a Markovnikov electrophilic addition type, where H plus was there. It is not like that, but here H is the negative part in BH3 going to the middle carbon bearing less number of hydrogen. That's it. That is why I say this step is analogous to Markovnikov addition of BH3 to 3 successive alkanes. In the second step, trialkyl borane is oxidized by hydrogen peroxide alkali to form alcohol and orthoboric acid. This step is oxidation step. Essentially, hydroboration oxidation, HBO, is the formation of anti-Markovnikov alcohol from an unsymmetrical alkene. I have deliberately taken an unsymmetrical alkene to show you that there is regio specificity. That means OH will come to the carbon bearing more number of hydrogen atoms. THF, already have told you, that is nothing but tetrahydrofuran. That is a cyclic ether used as solvent in diborane. H.C. Brown got Nobel Prize in 1979, and he first prepared hexanone hexan-1-ol from hexanone by this method. I have already told you. Now let us take step-by-step mechanism. The interesting, what I used to say always, the exotic part of the mechanism is the first step, the first addition of an alkene with BH3. The same mechanism holds good for the second addition to alkene, third addition to alkene, same. Let me read out what happens. Is there any carbocation formed? No. Is there any intermediate form during the addition step, like the bridged bromonium ion in bromination, chlorination? No. So then what happens? Let me tell you, this reaction is completely unique. It does not involve any transition state, but it passes through an unstable transition state, which is cyclic in nature. So any process which passes through a cyclic transition state and in one step, that is called a concerted reaction. I repeat, concerted reaction. So the addition of BH3 with alkene is a concerted one-step process involving a cyclic transition state. I repeat, transition state, not an intermediate. Let me read out. Each of the 3 successive additions of alkenes with BH3 takes place in a one-step concerted process via a 4-membered cyclic transition state. No intermediate is formed in this case. Now see, this is the alkene. I have taken deliberately unsymmetrical. This is more hindered, no hydrogen. It is less hindered, 1 hydrogen. So the BH3 is now split into H and BH2. So they join from the same face of the double bond. Boron and hydrogen, they descend both from the above or both from below. I have shown only descending from above to the same phase of alkene. The other possibility is also to be recognized. Now what happens while it goes to form the product? It goes via this unstable transition state where the pi bond has broken and form a bond with the electrophilic boron. Boron is electron deficient. So it accepts, and this bond breaks to form a bond with carbon, but these bonds are all partial. So because we have 4 electrons, but there are 1, 2, 3, 4 bonds. 1, 2, 3, 4 bonds. Therefore, they are all shared between these 4 centers, 4 electrons. Had it been a real covalent bond, then we need 8 electrons, but we have 2 and 2. Pi, this is the nucleophile part and this is the electrophile part, electron deficient part. So it forms a transition state like this where borane is approaching cis with respect to the alkene, that is from the same phase, right? After that, this is the transition state, and finally it will come down to a lower energy state where permanently this bond will be prepared, a covalent bond, sigma bond will be prepared, and a sigma bond will be prepared. So 4 electrons, 2 bonds, both the 2 are sigma. So remember, in borane addition to alkene, no intermediate is formed, no carbocation, no bromonium like situation. A cyclic transition state is the passing state, and then it forms the product. Let me read out. Hydrogen part of BH3 adds onto more hindered carbon which possesses more carbocation like character. See, when this is polar, this will induce polarity here, and obviously this will be plus delta, this will be minus delta. Why this will be more plus delta? Because this is like a tertiary carbocation. Therefore I wrote carbocation like character. It's not a real carbocation. So the polarity that will develop in the pi bond, because this is minus delta, it will create plus delta here. This is plus delta, this is develop minus delta, because this is electron deficient. Always there is a drift of electron density towards boron, and hence this side will be minus delta, this side will be plus delta, and more so this is stabilized by more plus I effects. But remember, this is not a true carbocation. I wrote carbocation like character, though not a true carbocation. That is why hydrogen will be joining to carbon bearing less number of hydrogen atom. That is more hindered carbon. And the BH2 part will be joining to the less hindered carbon. That is why this reaction is regiospecific. This can be thought of as both hydrogenation and electrophilic addition, as BH3 is an electrophile, a Lewis acid. So hydrogenation is occurring here, and electrophilic addition of this boron unit with this carbon is occurring. So it is both a hydrogen addition and electrophilic addition taking place, hydrogen addition and electrophile addition taking place simultaneously to form a monoalkyl borane. Understood? Same thing happens repeatedly 2 more times like this. Again another alkene joins with this big. This will descend in this side, and the whole of this will descend in this side. This would have been written in a reverse manner. The negative part will be joining the carbon which is more hindered, having more plus delta character, and therefore again you get dialkyl borane. This another hydrogen minus delta will join here, and the rest of this will join here to produce trialkyl borane. Once you learned the first step addition, the next two successive addition occurs in this similar manner in a syn, addition of the borane unit now becomes monoalkyl borane, then dialkyl borane, but still it is the borane unit containing hydrogen. The hydrogen part will join onto the more hindered carbon, and the boron part will join to the less hindered carbon. Got it? I have shown it once. Supposing you prepared monoalkyl borane, you want only one alcohol. Usually it becomes trialkyl borane, but to simplify, I have shown you if you prepare monoalkyl borane, not add excess alkene, then also you get one molecule or 1 mole of anti-Markovnikov alcohol. Now the beauty part is coming. The most fascinating aspect of HBO is coming. What you saw, it is both regiospecific, that means OH will join to the less hindered carbon, H will join to the more hindered carbon, so that means it is regiospecific. Hydrogen is added to the more substituted carbon, that is more hindered carbon, and BH2 to less hindered carbon. And it is also syn stereospecific. H and BH2 will be joining from the same face of C double bond C. Both from above as well as both from below, with equal probabilities. Understood? Now, when there is no chiral center here, the stereospecificity discussion is meaningless. But HBO is a number one reaction because of its stereospecificity. It is not only regiospecific, giving anti-Markovnikov alcohol, but also syn stereospecific. Now let us proceed. The oxidation of trialkyl borane in the second step involves retention of configuration. Now see, what happens here in this step, what happens here, it is a reaction that is occurring here. No change is going to happen in this chiral center. Had there been a chiral center, imagine that there is a chiral center, but we are oxidizing this. The B will go, O will come to the same space, no spatial change. So the configuration of this carbon will be retained during oxidation step. Therefore, not only HBH2 addition is syn stereospecific, HOH addition is also syn stereospecific. So essentially HBO is syn stereospecific. Syn stereospecific besides being regiospecific. I again reiterate that many authors, they shy away saying by telling the term regiospecific, they always use regioselective. But I say whenever one product is obtained more than 90%, then I have the guts to say regiospecific. Of course, many authors do that like me. Yes, if both the products are appreciable, then I use the term regioselective. But I don't mind, I honor equally if anybody says, anybody refrains from using the term regiospecific totally. I don't mind, I honor that. Now, Yes, the oxidation of trialkyl borane in the second step involves retention of configuration, no change in the configuration. That is called retention of configuration at the carbon bonded to boron, and hence it is syn stereospecific. H and OH joining from the same face of C double bond C. Ultimately, we get an anti-Markovnikov alcohol which is syn stereospecific if there is chirality, optically activity. Otherwise, this syn stereospecificity doesn't have any meaning, only regiospecificity giving anti-Markovnikov alcohol. The near absence of anti-addition product, almost no anti-product is obtained like this. So anti-addition product is not found in any appreciable quantity. Therefore, the syn addition mechanism via a TS, cyclic TS, has been accepted without any doubt. Most importantly, no rearranged product, alcohol product is formed. Because it is passing through a cyclic intermediate, there is no scope, no carbocation is formed. Had there been any chance of carbocation formation, in a flash it can undergo hydride shift or alkyl shift to produce a more stable carbocation. Ultimately, the alcohol product will be totally rearranged. Such a thing never ever happens in hydroboration oxidation. You get exactly the double bond gets added. The OH, though joins in on the less substituted carbon or less hindered carbon, regiospecific, but doesn't go anywhere else. Stereospecific, syn stereospecific, regiospecific, as well as no rearrangement is possible in HBO. Now you can appreciate how much advantageous HBO is to prepare anti-Markovnikov alcohol from an unsymmetrical alkene. I have already told you diborane is the original compound. This ether is tetrahydrofuran, and when you dissolve this, it remains as an adduct. Oh, there must be a lone pair. I have not shown, this is a copy paste mode. I can show that this one note that I am using is fabulous. Thanks to Microsoft. Now, earlier I was not using this. I was using a PowerPoint where I have to, press the enter key to switch over slides after slides. Now here I just scroll. I am having my mouse in my hand. I am just scrolling down, and whenever required I am going up and going down. I think I am feeling extremely, comfortable to use this OneNote for my lecture purpose. You can give me your opinion at times. Now there is a dative bond here, and normally we show dative bond by a plus minus sign, donor positive, acceptor negative. This is the formal charge. This is the adduct BH3THF that remains in the solution. Two molecules of this. Now the moment reaction starts, this bond breaks and the BH3 part is set free, which is now electron deficient. BH3 part is electron deficient, is a sextate. So it has the power to accept electron from the pi bond and go for a cyclic transition state, followed by the addition to double bond forming boranes. Now let me give you some examples before we close. Now examples I give you, but never mind if you are little deficient in stereochemistry, never mind. Just listen to me, right? Now we have taken a particularly Z isomer where ethyl, the senior group on this carbon, and methyl, the senior group on this carbon, they are lying on the same side. This is Z isomer, and the name forget about, 3-methyl pent 2-ene. So if this compound is stereospecific, that means it is Z. pure jet, then the product is also pure DL mixture of a particular diastereoisomer by syn addition mechanism. Is it not interesting? Now H and OH. For convenience, the trick is don't write the mechanism, transition state and all that. These are to understand, for understanding purpose. But for examination purpose, you just think as if you are adding water, as if you are adding water in an anti-Markovnikov way, the OH to descend to the carbon which bears more hydrogen and H to descend to carbon bearing less number of hydrogen. And from the same side, both from above 50%, both from below another 50%. So that produces two mirror image isomers. Non-superimposable mirror image isomers are called enantiomers, D and L. Right? So this when OH will join here, MEH will remain, and when H will join here, ET and ME will remain on the same side, but they will stoop down because the hybridization changes from sp2 to sp3, so there has to be a change in the bond angle. So, but they will never ever change sides. Ethyl is in left, here also left. So once you practice writing this, you will be mastering over this mechanism aspect. Now the other possibility, both from below, OH joining here, so that these two will be stooped up, will be just truncated up, but will not change their sides. So MEH and this H will join here and ETME will remain in the same sides. Now these two are not identical, they are mirror images. You can see, you can rotate. You can rotate, if you rotate, keeping this, if you rotate this, OH will come up, then HME will be mirror images. And when you keeping then fixed, you rotate this, hydrogen will come up, then methyl, ethyl will be mirror images. So these are DL. But they, if you can find out, if you are thorough in finding out the configuration at each chiral center, you will find it is 2, this is 2 and this is 3. The configuration at 2 is S and 3 is S. This is 2S and 3S. And obviously this will be 2R and 3R. So this particular diastereoisomeric pair, diastereoisomer, enantiomeric pair of one diastereoisomer or diastereomer. This is one diastereomer. Sometimes it is called erythro, with resemblance to erythros when the non-identical group, say here the non-identical group is OH and ethyl, they will be eclipsed. Supposing you rotate the back carbon by 120 degrees, so ethyl will come up. At that time you will find hydrogen will be eclipsing with hydrogen, methyl will be also eclipsing with methyl. They will remain on the same side. So when the two non-identical groups remain on the same side, eclipsed, the two identical pairs are also will remain on the same sides. So that is called, similar to erythros, it is erythro. Diastereomer is sometimes referred to as erythro D and L. And the other, supposing instead of taking Z, you take E. Just you make a switch. Methyl hydrogen gets switched, exchanged. So this is E isomer of the same compound, but same syn addition, HOH, both from above. But don't forget, the OH has to join with carbon bearing more number of hydrogen, that is less hindered carbon. More number of hydrogen, less hindered carbon or less substituted. Right? Same thing, do 50% above, 50% below. So that you will get the other diastereoisomer, what we call trios. This is 2R, 3S and this is 2S, 3R. These are also mirror images. But any one of this and any one of this, they are not mirror images, they are diastereomers. They are not mirror images, right? If you have not any good sound knowledge about stereoisomerism, you can join my videos on stereoisomerism. Go to the playlist, you will find I think there will be more than 10 videos on stereoisomerism in every aspect: optical, geometrical, and conformational, all the three aspects. So this reaction is entirely stereospecific. A particular stereoisomer Z is giving a particular stereoisomer, that is erythro. Of course, DL pair 50-50. That is not impure, pure product. And the other diastereoisomer E is giving the other diastereoisomer, which is 3-Os D and L. So this kind is only possible because the mechanism is stereospecific. Here in this case, syn. In case of halogenation, it was anti. Right? Now, I have already told that the Z isomer gives enantiomeric pair 2s3s 2r3r of one diastereoisomer, what we call erythro. Erythro, 3O, those terms are now mostly ignored. They are not used. But I used to tell to my students that to distinguish between the two, particularly when the two pairs are identical and one pair is non-identical, let us honor carbohydrate chemistry by saying erythro pair, 3O pair. Otherwise, in many literature you don't find. You find 2s, 3s, 2r, 3r is one diastereomeric pair, and 2r, 3s, 2s, 3r is another pair. No erythro 3O would be written there. Understand how you are doing. And E isomer, but E isomer gives the other diastereoisomer, but DL pair 2r, 3s, 2s, 3r. This is called 3O pair, right? I am showing another example where, this same, by mistake, the same thing here I have written in a, not by mistake, in a different way, in a zigzag line structure. Here the same I have shown you, but I have taken only the E to represent in a zigzag line structure, where you also can find out the configuration by using the CIP rule, can in gold pre-log rule. So the syn addition has resulted 2s3r, this is E. We have already done E, 2s3r, this one, and 2r3s. Here in this picture 2s3r is drawn here, and in this picture 2s3r is drawn here. I think it has overlapped. We must make a correction here. 2s3r, and this is 2r3s. Same thing. This is on the basis of the Sawhorse projection formula, and this is the zigzag line structure. Nowadays these representations are more popular. Now see, similarly, this is methyl cyclohexene. On hydroboration oxidation will give you a syn addition HOH. OH will be joining in the less hindered carbon, that is bearing more number of hydrogen. There is one hydrogen here, but there is no hydrogen here. Hydrogen will be joining here to the more substituted carbon, and OH will be joining on the less substituted carbon, and from the same side, OH, H, same side, both from above and here both from below. And I have to rub off. Something has happened for which the overlapping has happened here, right? So this is 1s, 2s, this is 1r, 2r. This is 1, OH is number 1, then the rest of the moiety part is number 2, methyl is number 3. So 1 to 2 to 3, that is clockwise, and hydrogen is below the plane, not shown. So 1, 2, 3 clockwise. So this is R, I'm so sorry. 1 R. And here in the second carbon 2 is number 1 is this part bearing OH, then number 2 is methyl, and the number 3 this side. So this anti-clockwise, but hydrogen is above the plane and we have to apply the opposite rule. So anti-clockwise 1, 2, this carbon, this part 1, then 2, then 3, clockwise. This, then this 1, 2, 3, clockwise R. But here this part connected to oxygen is number 1, this is number 2, 1, 2, 3, clockwise but opposite rule. This is 2s, I'm so sorry. And here it will be its mirror image. Just blindfold answer, it will be 1s, 2r. You can do that. You can 1, 2, 3. This part is 3, 1. This like 1. We did 2, 3. Oh, I'm so sorry. Here I got little, lost. OH is number 1 and this part is connected to more number of carbon. Supposing this part is connected to more number of carbon. 1, 2. This is this 1. This carbon is connected to 1, 2. This connected to 1. So definitely this one is more, priority is more. So 1 to 2 to 3 anti-clockwise, and this one 1. This is a kind of isopropyl kind of thing. This is CH2, CH2, CH2. This carbon is 1 carbon, but this is 2 carbon. So 1 to 2 to 3 anti-clockwise and anti-clockwise, and yes. And hydrogen is below here, not shown. That is why it is the opposite rule and the normal rule. This is S. I have done correctly. I am so sorry. Why did I enter into this? And this is, this carbon. You first look at this part connected to O. Then this part, longer part, this is only 1 carbon, 1 to 2 to 3 clockwise, and hydrogen is above. That is the normal, the opposite rule you have to apply, what we sometimes call golden rule. So 1 to 2 to 3 clockwise, and the opposite rule, it is S. So it was previously correct, and this will be 1R, 2R. I am so sorry. In a programmed video, I got little swayed away. Now this is little tricky. Now here OH number 1, then number 2 is this connected, this is isopropyl, and this is N. This is connected to only 1 carbon, this is connected to 2 carbon, so this is senior. So 1, 2, 3 anti-clockwise, and the hydrogen is above, not shown, so it is R. And here also you have this part is number 1, then this part is number 2, longer part, and methyl is number 3. 1 to 2 to 3 it is clockwise, and the normal rule hydrogen is below, so 2R. So you get only one pair, because there is no transalkene. In cycloalkene there is only one. These two bonds have to be cis. So they cannot be, they can't join to form a ring if these two will be remain anti. Therefore, you get only one pair. you get only one cyclohexene, and therefore you get only one pair. But in acyclic compound you have E and Z, you get two pairs. So you get only one pair, and that the geometrical isomerism is trans. If you have already known the chemistry, I mean the stereochemistry or stereoisomerism of cyclohexane, disubstituted cyclohexane, you will find that two substituents here, methyl and OH, the two substituents will remain on the opposite side, away from each other, then that will be trans. Obviously, this is above the plane and methyl is below the plane. So also here, methyl is above the plane, OH is below the plane. So as per the stereochemistry of the disubstituted compound, forget about its optical isomerism. Both are optically active. One is 1s2s, the other one is 1r2r. They are mirror images, enantiomers. But the geometrical isomerism name is trans. This is 2-methyl cyclohexanol. In fact, in cyclohexane, which is in the chair form, if by chance you know, you will find in trans form the two branches, two substituents will be either diequatorial EE or diaxial AA. AA is unstable, so that doesn't exist. So 99.999, nearly 100% molecules remain in diequatorial form. So with this much of wasting time, let us proceed. In the first example, E-methylpentene, which is a repetition, I didn't know that, I am repeating, gives enantiomeric pair 2s3r and 2r3s, already done, the same example. The Z isomer would give, already Z isomer you have done, give 2r3r and 2s3s. In the second example too, a pair of enantiomers are formed due to syn addition. Cycloalkene forms only one pair of enantiomers, and the product is a trans isomer, as OH and Me lies on the opposite side. Actually in the chair form it is diequatorial. Diaxial is thermodynamically unstable, it's diequatorial, I'm sorry. Then let us talk towards the end, the oxidation step mechanism. That's very beautiful to appreciate how the configuration of this is retained, right? Now what happens, hydrogen peroxide produces this in presence of alkali, produces this hydroperoxide ion, OOH minus. So that attacks onto boron. Boron is ready to be attacked because it is electron deficient. Then the positive charge, the negative charge vanishes because the donor was already negative. So that charge goes and the new negative charge is formed on boron. So this is the first step. Oxygen boron bond is formed by this oxidant joining with boron. And then exotic, again I will repeat the same word, exotic thing happens. That is called a 1,2 shift of a sigma bond. This sigma bond shifts from boron to oxygen. This bond breaks, I show you, this bond breaks, leaves boron and joins with oxygen. Now that has happened here. This bond has detached from boron and joined with oxygen, so that, but oxygen is already joined with the BX2, right? So since boron has lost its electron because the two electrons have gone here, so boron charge is discharged, negative charge is no more there, it is neutral. And since it is getting one, oxygen is getting one more electron and two more electron and also losing two of its own electrons, so oxygen is also will be neutral. So this is a neutral compound. Remember, X is another alkyl group, or you can take it as a monoalkyl borane, and this is still hydrogen, or X stands for the same alkyl group 2 times, right? Now the next step will be alkali. OH minus will again attack onto boron. Boron can be attacked by anybody. And then this bond will polarize to form a negative ion, alkoxide ion, and that being highly basic will abstract a proton from water to become a neutral alcohol, that is ultimately an antimarconic of alcohol, and OH minus ion will be set free as a catalyst, right? So hydrogen peroxide and alkali does this magic. The crucial step is here, most important step, the 1,2 shift. I have written here, just have a look. This bond shifts from boron to oxygen, so that carbon boron bond is now replaced by carbon oxygen bond. Then the boron is removed as HOBX2. So HOBX2, which is removed by OH minus, again is attacked by another OOH minus. And this process continues 3 times to produce 3 molecules of antimarconic of alcohol. Only one step I have shown. There will be 3 more steps. Right? Understood? Let me read out. OOH minus ion, hydroperoxide ion, forms a BO bond, this BO bond first, and subsequent 1,2 shift of bond from boron to oxygen establishes carbon oxygen bond. The OH minus then removes the BX2 plus to form HOBX2. The alkoxide ion thus formed gets protonated to form the neutral antimarconic of alcohol. The 2 more successive cycles form 3 moles of alcohols in all and 1 mole of boric acid. Ultimately, this part will be BOH whole 3, that is S3BO3. Now, one finds that all these reactions does not change the configuration of this carbon. Whatever reaction occurs with this boron, oxygen, carbon, oxygen, but carbon is not disturbed. The same bond is now bonding with oxygen. So the stereochemistry, the chirality, the configuration of this carbon remains the same. One finds that this oxidation step involves the retention of configuration at the chiral center. Hence, the net result of HBO is syn-specific alcohol. Styrene gives another example. Styrene, have you added water in presence of acid? OH would have come here to the benzylic position, because benzyl carbocation is highly stable. So this conventional electrophilic addition would have resulted OH group here. But if you carry out HBO, first BH3 with THF to give you trialkyl borane, and then break down with oxidizing agent to give you 3 molecules of antimarconic of alcohol. OH is now joining here, H is joining here, which is very unusual, right? Now the regiospecificity is reduced. Yeah, okay, I now concede to those learned authors who really make a strategy of not using regio specific. Now I say that hydroboration oxidation is regiospecific. They say regioselective because 6% of the marconic of alcohol is also formed. I say this is minimal, so let us have the guts to say regiospecific. But if there will be more and more minus I group, electron withdrawing group like CF3, then the percentage of marconic of alcohol will be little more and more. So I have written, my language is the regiospecificity is reduced as more and more EWG, means electron withdrawing group, is attached to the C double bond C. But the syn product is still the major product. Such a powerful minus I group does not alter the situation. The Markovnikov regiospecific, regioselective product is no doubt appreciable, but not the measure. Measure is, anti-Markovnikov alcohol. Regiospecific anti-Markovnikov alcohol is the major product. Now, at the end, I am showing you 3 differences. And I will establish the advantage of HBO here. If you have a alkene like this, an alkene like this with a alpha substitution, carry out HBO, no rearranged product will be found. Double bond will be added up and in anti-Markovnikov way, so OH group will be coming to the carbon bearing more number of hydrogen, that is less substituted, less hindered, so you get this alcohol. This we can isopentyl alcohol or isoamyl alcohol, right? Anti-Markovnikov alcohol. But in subsequent video, I will be making an extensive single subject, that is oxymercuration, demercuration. That is in fact Markovnikov regiospecific addition, but it is anti-stereospecific. We'll talk about in a separate video. But there is no rearrangement. It also passes through a cyclic intermediate, not transition state like this. Therefore, there is no room for carbocation is not formed. So that also doesn't involve any rearrangement. So you get but Markovnikov alcohol. If you want Markovnikov alcohol, use oxymercuration, demercuration. I will tell you mercuric acetate, water, then sodium borohydride, OH minus to demercurate. And the detailed mechanism and everything we will discuss later. So one is anti-Markovnikov, one is Markovnikov alcohol, but no rearrangement, but add water. Just add water in presence of acid, he will get, the OH will be landing miles away from the double bond. Just kidding. Double bond is here, but the OH will be found here because a carbocation will be first formed here. It is secondary. There will be a hydride shift preferentially. There will be a 3-degree carbocation and water will attack here and then deprotonation will produce a tertiary alcohol, a taut pentyl alcohol. It is a rearranged alcohol as the major product. Right? See the difference. Anti-Markovnikov, no rearrangement. Markovnikov, no rearrangement. But normal addition of water in acid, it is a rearranged alcohol because this reaction goes via carbocation, a perfect electrophilic addition. Although these are electrophilic, no doubt, but this is not the same mechanism as this. This is via a transition state, the first step, and this is via, as we shall understand, via a mercurinium intermediate. Now, there is another possibility, hydroboration halogenation. To get anti-Markovnikov bromide or iodide and chloride, you can do the first step in the same way, but instead of hydrogen peroxide alkali, you take bromine alkali or iodine alkali, you will get the bromine and iodine adding to the less hindered carbon, or the anti-Markovnikov bromide or iodide will be formed. So this is, but the stereospecificity will be lost because it is not mostly by syn addition mechanism, because it goes via a complicated radical process. So stereospecificity will be lost, but regiospecificity will be there. You get the anti-Markovnikov bromide or iodide respectively. Thus we finish. How did you enjoy this video? Besides the middle part where I got stuck to find out, of course that will benefit you, no doubt, to find out the I deliberately wanted to be swayed away at that time to revise or to explain to you how you can find the configuration even in the zigzag line structure. Write to me, give your feedback. Often I find majority of our guys means boys and girls, who are really appreciating, as I'm inclined to believe, but they don't have the time to give a feedback. Give a feedback. If you like it, Express it. Unless you express to your teacher, to your instructor, or to anyone, to your parents, or to anyone whom you appreciate the work, you give your feedback, your commendation, or your critical remark. Then only it will be a good, lively interaction between the instructor and the receiver at your end. Bye bye. Take care. God bless you. And subscription, don't forget.